Love and rely on me. Just follow your heart. Never think too smart. Alrighty. Hello, hello, everybody. Here we are. This was a song about my relationship with a writing partner that I was writing songs in the mid 90s, songs called Playground Politics. But we're not here to talk about politics. Well, a little bit maybe. We're here to talk about books, but some books are political because here on island number 4, the last island that I was given by Linden Lab in our arrangement of Linden Lab gives me islands and I produce a entertaining and informative weekly program that discusses books with the authors of these books, bring them in world, build worlds that reflect their themes, um, and build avatars that reflect what the authors like to project into this world and all the rest of it. And by the time we brought this island online, we had mixed the authors. Uh, it was a 50-50 split between fiction and nonfiction. And by nonfiction was I mean mostly social science, ethnography, um, history, progressive politics, and things of that nature. Sociology, of course. And yeah, and very, very proud of what we did in this last stretch before we canceled the show in November 2024. So this year was originally built for Perry Roden. Now I'm going to be talking about Perry Roden today. We're going to walk through the entire island. The islands will all be taken offline tomorrow, Friday. I don't know what time. But this place here was originally built when the Perry Roden team came in. Perry Roden is a German sci-fi series that's been running since 1961. It's written by a team of authors, usually 10 to 15 authors. And then it was repurposed for Ray Naylor. Ray Naylor came in. He was in before. Ray Naylor is great. This was his second novel, very slim volume called The Tusks of Extinction. Really cool. It's about cloning and stuff. So near future sci-fi. This little critter here will probably tell you what the book is maybe about. Really kind of cool thriller, Michael Crichton-ish, I guess, but much more current. And I think Michael Crichton is also kind of an a-hole in real life. So Ray Naylor certainly isn't. So now keep in mind this was originally built for Perry Roden, and because when we built it for Perry Roden, there was this door. So for Ray Naylor, we actually use this as the main venue for the discussion of his work, and the people were sitting obviously on these ice cubes here. But when we built it for Perry Roden, there was nowhere to sit, and I actually led sort of with a little intro discussing about introducing people to Perry Roden. I was walking around, walking and talking, and then I went through this door, and then I came out here. And I was talking about Perry Roden as this weekly pulp magazine series where every week the story is being, it's a serialized story, right? It's like 100 of these 60-page pulp magazines come out to one epic story. And every week, it usually every week stuff happens on a different world, and the way we illustrated that is to going through these doors and going like, okay, we went from this ice world to this kind of, I don't know, medieval world that nonetheless has weird robots in it and these little thingies here. So this is what we wanted to illustrate. And then there should be another door. Is this the same door? Now I forget if I have to go back through this door. because, you know, yeah, right. So, I kept talking every week a new story, every week a new world, every week a new challenge and mayhem and action, but also something that kind of connects all these stories. That's what Perry Roden is all about. So the first time we had the Perry Roden team on, and we had three writers on, and we had them, or maybe four, I forget. We had two shows with Perry Roden people. Um, I think it was four each. So anyway, this is how I introduced it. Um, every week you can expect to pick up the pulp magazine from the store, and you get thrown into incredible action, but you also will enjoy the epic nature of it because, like I said, 100 of these magazines then would constitute one sort of season, and then a new season start with an overarching theme. And so eventually, at this particular show, the Perry Roden special, I arrived here. The audience was sitting here. This is a gigantic sort of space station type thing that I bought on Marketplace. It has an incredible land impact, all prims, but awesome, very old school, but very cool. And we decorated this with all sorts of Perry Roden stuff. So I eventually arrived here, and then before I introduced the panel, I was sort of panning over these Perry Roden covers because at one point Perry Roden was translated into at least 30 languages. This is the Greek version of the very first story that came out in 1961. So this is the oldest and longest running sci-fi series. It's not the oldest running sci-fi series. It's not Star Trek. It's not Doctor Who. I'm sorry. It's Perry Roden. Yes, there was never a TV show, but when we're talking media platform agnostic, it is Perry Roden after all. And so this is a very new. This is Perry Roden Neo English. This only came out as ebook. I don't think they're publishing it anymore. But anyway, these other translations, they're also not published anymore. This is French. These are fans dressed up as Perry Roden. See, if I were a super fan, I would immediately. This is Alaska Settle Layer, right? And is this Thora? Oh boy. I'm not a super fan. I was a super fan when I was 13, 14, and then recently, during COVID, actually, I went to the store and I was like, you know what? They still have it. I'm gonna buy one, and it was so good. And then I decided, hey, I need to find out who's writing this stuff right now, you know, and I need to invite them. These are the Japanese covers. The Japanese covers are even better than the German covers. So I think in Japan it's still published. Um, look at this. I think currently it's published in Japan, maybe the Netherlands, and of course in Germany. In the 70s, it was published in the US. Um, the founder of the series, Clark Darlton, it's a pseudonym. Walter Ernsting was his name. He came home after World War II. He was in prison in Russian war prison, and his collaborator Karl-Heinz Scheer. They both came up with the concept. They thought maybe we'll have a shot at 50 magazines. Right back in 1960, they presented this concept for 50 for a story of like 50 a serialized epic story made up of 50 magazines, and then it was so successful. And today they're at like number 3,000 something. This is William Woltz, who in the 70s changed the trajectory of Perry Roden in terms of uh well, let's just say in terms of solving every conflict with weapons and have a more diplomatic approach. Obviously, that time is gone in real life, anyways, unfortunately. But the funny thing is, Karl Herbert Scheer was also his nickname was Cannon Herbert. because he would solve everything like, okay, here's the aliens, this is that, and then nothing works anymore. Okay, so just blast them. And there was definitely in the 60s um, the perception, it was perpetuated by a lot of articles that Perry Rhodan is basically kind of a fascistic storyline because Perry Rhodan is this sort of emperor and all the aliens are bad. That's really stupid. I mean, certainly there was less nuance in these early stories than there is today, or even in the 70s. But but Perry Rhodan is not a fascist. Th- this is very interesting. But I could talk about this for hours and possibly days. Let's just move on here. This is the first show with Robert Corvus and Susan Schwartz. They're both staff writers at the main series, and this is Jay Collis, who is who ran the Perry Rhodan Neo English, and this is Philip Rubin, who is the translator of Perry Rhodan into English for Perry Rhodan Neo. They had awesome avatars. Robert Corvus probably had the best one. And this is where we set. These are all references to recent Perry Rhodan stories. This critter here is an incredible evil alien. Again, the covers, Perry Rhodan covers are awesome. This it was my very first Perry Rhodan that I read when I was 13 years old in 1983. This is the first one that I picked up at the store. I tell this story all the time. My mother was concerned, like every parent. Every parent is always concerned, but in my milieu, the parents were very much concerned about sci-fi, and they were concerned about sci-fi because sci-fi was, violent and not real. So it would, according to them or in their mind, sci-fi would lead to a rejection of reality and also in combination, just like uh, the charge against playing video games is today, it would also lead to a narrow conviction of young people that violence is the answer to everything. Now, weirdly enough, I became a pacifist filmmaker slash musician who loves to read Marx and Polanyi and other really real stuff. So with me, it did not turn me into a um, into someone who is trying to escape reality. But again, I mean, I don't want to dismiss this argument of escapism, but the fact of the matter is, and I don't have to belabor the point here, is that sci-fi specifically as a genre, even the more sort of sci-fi opera stuff is a genre that is able to talk about in depth about real issues, about relationships of complex relationships between societies of different interests, class issues, and all the rest of it, everything that concerns human beings and their station in the world, philosophical, sociological. This is what sci-fi does best, I would say. So even as a fan of literary fiction, I still think sci-fi is just enormously powerful to negotiate and ruminate and explore issues of what it means to be human. So here, this is the outside. This is where people arrive. It's very cool. Today on Island 4, by the way, we'll have a lot of glitches in terms of intersecting skyboxes because we didn't really build them very cleanly. We kind of had them intersected. So you have like you will see some stuff from other things. So office virtues. Here we go. Let's go sequentially. I don't know. This actually randomly changes. But office virtue. Let's go to the next set. Ooh, wait a minute. No, 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 no. This was, we need to start somewhere else. This was Catherine Liu with her Virtue Hoarders book, but the audience arrived somewhere else. The audience arrived here, and this is so cool. So the audience arrived here. They go like, okay, what is the show today? Ooh, the Church of Virtue Hoarders. What is that about? Ooh, let's see here. What books are in the offering? Is this the English book? Virtue Hoarders, The Case Against the Professional Managerial Class. Now, if you are part of the professional managerial class, or if you are related to someone from the professional managerial class, you got to read this book. And don't feel bad about the case against. You're not an evil person. You are a good person, but the system is forcing really bad shit on you, and you will find out if you read this thin little book, and if you reflect on it, it will help you. The German translation that came out when we did the show is called Die Tugendpächter. So if any German watching this, the translation of the title is amazing. This is basically how the professional managerial class uses sort of moral indicators to be holier than thou, and at the same time um, really collaborates with the ruling class against the working class. It's a fantastic book. And this is the Church of Virtue Hoarders. Let's go inside. So this is where the audience came in, and also we were here with the guest Catherine Liu. Virtue signaling, woohoo! Let's go back to work. And here are little excerpts from the book. If not managers, who else would oversee complex projects? The administrative state would collapse. No? Well, I mean, we all know managers who, frankly, if they would leave, the complex project would probably improve. So this is certainly a book that lashes out against managers. What the heck is a virtue? Please, Doc, explain. This is, I think, I wrote that. I wrote these questions. I'm a manager. Are we the baddies? God, this was a lot of fun. Technology will save us all. Well, obviously it won't. Oh man, social scientists with their well, it's more complicated than a binary thing, blah, 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 always making us feel bad about feeling good about being accomplished and good at something. Okay, this is a little convoluted. This is not from the book. This is me writing it, my thoughts, and then I presented it to Catherine. And then Catherine, who also teaches at UC Irvine, she was like, Drax, you're a bad writer. Did you write this convoluted sentence? Drax, did you write this? I'm not hoarding anything. I'm leading by example by being a hardworking, morally strong individual. I'm a role model for my kids. This might actually be from the book, sort of tongue in cheek, but this could have been written by me. This could have been also said by me before I was enlightened by Catherine's point about the managers. I think, let's see, what are these coins? These are not Drax coins. These are euros. Euros and cents. And then how do we get to the office? There's a drink, Bloodlust Virtue, Vital Energy. I think I got this from Marketplace. Is this from some vampire game? Okay, so we go in here, and this is where we then actually sat down and had the discussion in this office. I love this design. There's some really cool posters on the wall. Let's see here. Leadership. Always remember that fear and intimidation brings immediate results. Awesome. Yeah, Catherine Liu is a great thinker. Great thinker, great writer. You will find any number of interviews with her. And I forgot what this is. Is this 16 in Webster Grove? Oh God, if I get started talking about this is a documentary from the 60s that I wrote a paper on in college. Let's not get too sidetracked. Let's not get too sidetracked. Let's just look at these bullshit posters. Mindset is everything, you know, chaos, German style. Love this design. Under new management. God. You know what? If I ever get a job and I see these posters on the wall, I'm going to not jump out the window. I'm just gonna run away. This is me when I was in a managerial position at a radio station in California because I could relate to Catherine's topic. I was a manager, and then I gave birth to somebody who is not yet a manager. Thank God. Thank God I did something right. Um, Here's me managing my little setup here. God, look at these. What was that called? Was that an Mbox? That was to run Pro Tools, but I forgot who made this. This is really great. This kind of control surface. I mean, they still have it, but that was one of the first control surfaces. Anyway, that's me. That's the me and the music director. I was the news director. Melanie KAZU 90.3 NPR and PRI, bringing the world to the Central Coast. Community service of Cal State University, Monterey Bay. Enough about me. What is this? Never say maybe. Prioritization, a license to kill bad ideas. A license to kill bad ideas. That's pretty funny. Um, yeah, that's it. Virtue hoarders. Must read to understand. To understand a lot where you are, where the others are. What is the role of the managerial class in class struggle? We're moving on. Rustland is part of the Perry Roden, I think, right? Yeah. Ad Astra. What is Ad Astra? That was also Perry Roden. Oh no. Oh, I know. That's the bottom of this gigantic. Let's turn on the light. That was my initial when I put down this gigantic sci-fi city here. And let's look who made it. Gotta give credit. Huh? Carl Landfall. Yes, Carl Landfall. Why is it Moy Cakes? It was Carl Landfall because he contacted me. Um, and I put down the first teleporter to kind of just mark that spot on the bottom because this was quite overwhelming. Here you can see if I zoom out, here's the other book club island right adjacent. And again, this thing here has a lot of different levels that you can walk between them. There's doors. You can walk up and down. I have not explored it to that extent because we just built up the main venue to having the discussion. Some stuff is kind of nothing, but I forgot if it has an elevator. But if you look up car landfall, you will find this thing. I want to focus on what's out here. I want to go to marketplace right now. So let's go to the next one. Oh, degrowth. Degrowth. Degrowth is a graphic. It's not a novel. It's a graphic nonfiction book by Celine Keller about degrowth. Go to celinekeller.com and buy it right now. We were meeting up here at this little cozy nature place, and then we walked over here and teleported up into this gallery where we had a lot of art displayed. Of course, I can't even walk across. I can, and then we walk in here, and this will teleport us up into this really awesome gallery. And here we have displayed a lot of art from her Who is Afraid of Degrowth book, where she debunks a lot of talking points. If I don't know if you're following the degrowth debate, it is very disingenuous. Um, I have a lot of good friends who are very smart who are bashing the degrowth concept by saying you guys are naive, you just want the people who have nothing to suffer even more, blah, blah, blah. No, this is really a red herring. Um, this is a complex topic, but at its core, it's also very simple. Degrowth has nothing to do with suffering or going back to nature and living in a tent or something. No, it has to do with everything that is socialistic. It has to do with giving prosperity to everyone and really um, being just and equitable in terms of using resources and distributing those resources. And the concept of degrowth, there's a lot of different versions of it, but most all of them, uh, none of them that I know of are naively sort of a back to nature type of romanticism. They're very concrete, actually. They're really about um, defining. Well, let's use a concrete example. Jeff Bezos' wedding in Venice. The resources that were thrown out there, that were destroyed, could have I don't know. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but they they would have made a lot of people who are suffering whole in the sense that they could be eating good food and live well. So yeah, I'm randomly going around here. This is a dense book because it really is and it's structured really well. So there's a lot of these people like here, Bill Gates and Elon Musk, well-known people, but also less well-known people, very, very nefarious people who sound sound and who sound informed. Um, let's use this for an example. This is how she structures this book, misunderstandings. So she takes the misunderstandings and then she illustrates what some of the people who want you to keep consuming garbage and kind of forget that you have nothing and you will never have anything because rich people will use all these resources and make you feel bad because you don't recycle, blah, blah, blah. Um, First, she states the misunderstanding. Then she takes the arguments of some of these demagogues, here, Bill Gates. Um, Degrowth doesn't reject technology, but suggests that it must be democratically managed, controlled. Technology should be fit for a purpose determined outside of itself, tool, not master. Not everything that is technically possible is culturally desirable. So this is actually a point that degrowth is for. And then you will see what the Bill Gateses and the Elon Musks use to kind of get you distracted from that goal. And then you have some good people, Dr. Genevieve Günther, climate activist, um, is pushing back at Bill Gates. So yeah, this was challenging because the book is very dense. this was a challenging conversation because I mean I gotta admit I got a little distracted and all over the place because there's so many things in this book. But I think people we had an engaging discussion. You can see it, of course, in the playlist. A moral compass for degrowth. There you go. Autonomy, sufficiency, care. Care is really important. Ah, come on. No, no. No, I changed it. Anyway, CelineKeller.com. Who's Afraid of Degrowth? She has a bunch of other really good nonfiction graphic investigations. Ugh, yeah. Oh, wait. Degrowth Gallery. Oh, cool. Here you can actually get all these textures. Well, you won't be. By tomorrow, it'll all be gone. Ugh. I'm not gonna start crying. Here is, of course, the thing that I'm really sad about. This is the Enfield Tennis Academy, where we discussed Infinite Jest, the most important book that was ever written. Fantastic design, just a simple skybox here with a tennis court and lots of awesome fan art from the Infinite Jest universe. Infinite Jest, of course, this is the German translation Unendlicher Spaß. This is the Serbian translation Peskrajana Lakridja. This is the Farsi translation. I'm not going to pronounce it because I don't know how to. Um, this is the original English, American English edition. This is the Hungarian translation. This is the Polish translation. I have all of these books in real life. People go like, Drax, do you speak all these languages? No, I don't. But I fetishize this book. So what am I gonna do? And this is also very cool. This is ambient music for Infinite Jest. I bought this on cassette. You can buy this on Bandcamp. This is really cool. Ambient music inspired by Infinite Jest. So pay attention, folks. February 1st, 2026. February 21st, 2026. I will start a guided reading, a group reading of Infinite Jest. It will be manageable. The book is huge. We know that. The book may be challenging, but I guarantee you the book is so much fun and it'll be worth your time. It is the healthiest thing and the most fun thing that you can do is to embark with me on this journey starting February 1st. February 1st, 2026, which is the 30th publication anniversary, 30th anniversary of the original publication of Infinite Jest, and we're going to be reading it, and I will figure out how many pages we're going to read per week, where we're going to meet. We're going to meet in Second Life, obviously not here. We're going to meet maybe in my Linden home. These are the characters. Infinite Jest, Hal, his brother Mario, brother Orin, Avril, his mother. JOI is James O. Incandenza, and Don Gately. This is Madame Psychosis, a radio host. She's veiled. This you should not read. What happens at the end of Infinite Jest? This contains spoilers. Don't read it. Well, you can't because it's going to be destroyed. These are alternative fan-made covers of Infinite Jest. Infinite Jest is about entertainment addiction. It's about emptiness, the emptiness of the soul, the crushing of the soul in modern life. If you feel alienated, you want to read this book. Yeah. Wallace, the author, always said this is an American novel. I disagree. It's a novel that has explores themes that are very relevant to everyone. I'm seated in an office surrounded by heads and bodies. This is how it starts. Hell is sitting here. I am in here. This is what he wants to say, but he can't say it. I am in here, he says to himself. Nobody hears him. I cannot make myself understood. Now I'm speaking slowly and distinctly. Call it something I ate. And there it starts. The mystery, the fun, epic mystery of life. Fan art, characters Don Gately, Mario, Madame Psychosis. This is Ann Kitten Plan from a music video by the Decemberists. They made a music video, Infinite Jest theme. This is Kate Gompert, who is in the halfway house. She's severely depressed. Kate Gompert, a wonderful character. And who's here? Gerhard Stitt. Gerhard Stitt is the tennis coach. Gerhard Stitt. You know, if they ever make a movie of Infinite Jest, I want to play Gerhard Stitt. But they will never cast me. I'm not in good shape. So yeah, and in the novel, James Owen Condenza is a filmmaker that's the father of the main character, and he's a very prolific filmmaker. And this is also fan art based on his movies. Blood Sister, One Tough Nun, and in the book, in the footnotes, all these films are being described like the synopsis. It's like one footnote that is 200 pages or something. It's awesome. Baby Pictures of Famous Dictators, another fictional movie. And this is my favorite movie, Various Small Flames. So the character of James Owen Condenza is an avant-garde filmmaker, and this is sort of a running joke in the novel. Like, you know, he made a lot of money being he made a bunch of inventions, and then he made money from the royalties, and then he's like, what am I going to do now? And then he started the tennis academy, but also he wanted to be a filmmaker, and his titles are just so bizarre and weird. The Medusa versus the Odalisque, another one of the films. So anyway, Infinite Jest, there we go. We'll start reading it February 1st, 2026. If you're subscribed to my Substack newsletter, I will let people know. I'm also on Reddit in the Infinite Jest subreddit, and I will also notify the group here in Second Life. Yeah, I'm saddest about this skybox going away. Oh boy, holodeck. What is the holodeck? Ah, the holodeck of Utopia. Ooh, the holodeck of Utopia. This is certainly not. This is bad news here. These are little newspaper items from a newspaper here in Germany that I read, and it's really bad stuff. Everything is going to hell. So let's go to Utopia. What is going to happen in Utopia? Oh, look at this. Utopia with Kristen Gotzi. Kristen Gotzi wrote a book called Everyday Utopia. It's really good. And Arieto made these Star Trek captain chairs because Kristen Gotzi's a big Star Trek fan, and she wanted to appear in her Star Trek uniform. And the audience was also sitting on these Star Trek. This is from Next Generation, I think, right? Um, these chairs and these desks, and I have no idea why I put the Zika Ghost's awesome creations here. I forget. It was very kind of intuitive. They have nothing to do with the book, but they look so utopian. So if utopia is a better future that we envision, the original meaning of utopia is actually not that positive. The original meaning of utopia is something that will happen, that may happen in the future, but we cannot predict at all what it's going to be, so it might be really, really bad. The original version, the original meaning of the word does not imply necessarily a positive envisioning conceptually. But Kristen Gotzi, in her book Everyday Utopia, explores the history of utopian thinking and then kind of applies it to the future in a very practical way. So this is not pie in the sky stuff. This is a comprehensive list of little utopian communities, sometimes bigger, utopian concepts, things that were uh, thought about, that were implemented, things that could be implemented again. Um, and yeah, what 2,000 years of wild experiments can teach us about the good life. If you want a dose of positive thinking that is not delusional, this might be the book that you pick up today. I'm realizing this tour is like I'm the sales guy of a Barnes and Noble. I don't know how to get out of here. Where is the next teleporter? Hello? Didn't we usually put a teleporter to leave? There's no way. Oh, here it is. Here it is. KB Brookins, great. KB Brookins was, I think, the last guest. KB Brookins is a poet, author. They wrote a memoir. KB Brookins is 30 years old, 32 years old. I forget exactly, but they wrote a memoir about their transition from um, female to male to their preferred representation of themselves. And it's absolutely fascinating and wonderful. Cannot recommend this enough. KB Brookins is an activist. They are, like I said, a poet. Here's a whole bunch of poems from the one book that I bought. They have several collections of poetry out. Let me see which one I bought. These are all different poems. This is a picture of their transition 2019 to 2023. And this is KB Brookins as a baby with his birth mother. KB Brookins was adopted by a couple that were basically his grandparents' age. This is another interesting aspect of their memoir. I'm sorry. Um, this is artwork from a collection, and I'll tell you the title in a second. But this is a poetry collection that has these paintings. I keep my ex's nude in a locket, roped around the base of my neck. I wrap myself in all her baggage. To sorrow myself unlonely, this cozy bead jarred endorsed my tears, our lifetime all retained in this container and fun size. I keep my cracks close to the heart. My ex nudes tell me I'm human. I should probably buy the other anthology. This here, Nothing Was the Cause of Your Deaths, Poems on the Harris County Jail System. This is available on KB Brookins' website. There's a bunch of stuff available for free. Earth2kb.com is the website. Let me verify this. This is also A New Relationship to Pain is also available on their website. You know what? I'm gonna find out what the website is. Here it is. Earth2kb.com. Right? So put this on here. KB Brookins work. Zines. There we go. Wait a minute. Here. Ah, I have to hover over it. Doesn't work in World. But earth2kb.com. Write that down, folks, and you can get a taste with a whole bunch of these downloadable PDFs. This is the poetry collection that I bought. Freedom House. I forgot the title. Freedom House is one, and Pretty is the memoir. Highly recommended. God, I read this like in like 3 hours or something. It's completely absorbing. So necessary to read this in this absolute anti-trans madness world that we live in. This is the work in another life. I think this may be free on their website. This is poetry visual art collaboration. By GC is the name of the artist. You can download it on the website. This is KB's first How to Identify Yourself with a Wound. This is the first poetry collection. I gotta send KB an email that we're doing this. There was a technical issue when we wanted to do the show. It was such a bummer. I get so upset when we have everything set up and the guest and everything, and then nobody to blame here. I mean, my computer was overheating. SL sometimes is not stable. We know what is going on, right? So, uh, almost done for the day. This is Lovecraft. Oops, oi, Lovecraft. You know what this is about, but let's start where we started. So here, who's watching this, by the way? Have you read Lovecraft Country? Have you seen the HBO show? Wait, I gotta change something here. Render LOD. Oops. Who has read Lovecraft Country and slash or watched the HBO show? You guys know that Matt Ruff is one of my favorite authors, and actually the first one to appear on the SL Book Club, even before that in Sansar when we started it. And he wrote a sequel to this, wrote a sequel to Lovecraft Country called The Destroyer of Worlds. Here is the Destroyer of Worlds. And yeah, has nothing to do with Barbenheimer. Very little. Very little, although this house is pink. Um, Here is where we arrived. This is about time travel. This is about travel in the universe, multiple dimensions, Lovecraftian monsters, real monsters. Um, Absolutely astonishing stuff. Oh, look, here's Ava Bloodrose. Hello, Ava. So this is where the folks appeared, and I talked a little bit about, what is this about here? This Airstream trailer, hinting a little bit, teasing a little bit the narrative, and then we came in here if we were able to, and I think this is maybe locked. So in the interest of time, I'm just gonna sit here. And what was fun about this? Huh? What was fun about this design is that now I'm outside. What was fun about this design was that we had Matt Ruff, his a picture from his blog, and this was actually his first story. I don't know when that was in ninth grade or something, and he illustrated it himself. And it's just what was it called? Let's see here. You can find it on his blog. It's called blog is bymetruff.com. Where was the title? Here. Thomas Walnut Edison, is that the title? Oh, A Tour of the Nutty Mines. Squirrel Stories Volume 1. This is not ninth grade. This is when he was 9 years old. Or maybe, who knows? Matt is going to go, what do you think? I was 5. And then we went upstairs. Here, of course, is his Lovecraft Country. Highly recommended. If you haven't read it, haven't seen the show, not interested in it, the book is too good to watch a show about it. So the functionality here is all gone. We basically went upstairs, and then this was the room with these awesome Lovecraft chairs. And of course, Matt Ruff. This is the last time I'm going to tell this story. I told it multiple times. This is Matt's avatar. Is a Cthulhu monster. And the most hilarious thing, we had a budget. I paid this out of pocket, by the way, but we had a budget of about 8,000 maximum Linden dollars per avatar for the guest. Mesh heads are not inexpensive, and people, most people want kind of look a little bit like themselves in real life, shave off a few years and a few pounds. But Matt Ruff was so awesome. He looked around I said, here's the marketplace link. You can look around if you find something, but just tell me what you like. Sent me some visual references. And I think the next day he was like, hey, I found something on Marketplace that is awesome. It's this Cthulhu monster. And I was like, that's cool, but that's all made of prims and stuff. And it's like 250 lindens. And he goes, yeah, I love it. I want it. And so he was the cheapest guest in terms of his avatar. There was nobody cheaper. I don't know if Matt is cheap in real life. If I were to visit him and I had to bring my own lunch. Wait, this does not play back. This is, I think, the trailer to the HBO series. But yeah, that was Matt Ruff. Very enjoyable. I love this decoration. Here's oh, look, Gustav is all in the floor. Gustav is underneath the little chair. Look at him. These are the chairs for our tiny friends in the audience. Here's Lovecraft decorations. Oh yeah, now it's playing back a little bit, I think. Is it? Yeah. Well, what I'm told is that the HBO series was very good. Again, I don't know. I'm not judging. I'm a reader. I cannot watch anything that audiovisual that is made after I read something. And it's not a judgment on the quality of the work. Look at this. I gotta go up here. Can I do this? No. This is the top level of the observatory. As this awesome game, Ardrin's game. And yeah, all hidden away in this skybox. The observatory plays a very important role in Lovecraft Country, as well as in the sequel, Destroyer of Worlds. Next, Neurocracy. Neurocracy. That was very cool. Do I remember stuff from Oh yes. Oh my God. Neurocracy was an interactive game, website game, whatever thing, where you had access to a Wikipedia type thing, to a wiki called Omnipedia, and you could shape this narrative by going into the Omnipedia website and browsing around and finding clues about an international conspiracy. What else? Uh, Triggered by an assassination, and you just had to find clues by going through this Wikipedia. This was a very elaborate thing, and I'm not sure if it's still around. This was concocted by a guy named Johannes Truens, and see, this is one of these things. I don't remember details. I remember that it was extremely impressive, what he put out there. Like everything. Look, like for example, this is the bad guy, like the art, but the complexity of this narrative, just amazing. Like newspaper articles, and you slowly got sucked in. What is this about? Is this about cloning? Right? Is this about AI? Uh, Basically, I don't know. I'm not an expert on the classification of these things, but maybe could you call it a text adventure game? Maybe an interactive text adventure, possibly. Check it out if it's still around. Are you for real? What would the website be? This is just a trailer that I put together, but is it neurocracy.net? Maybe. Gotta check this out here. I forget. He may have told us when he was on that it was already that it was over, but you could still play it. So there was a start and an end date. Let me check. I'm gonna put this into a browser. Neurocracy.net. Neurocracy.net is not saved. Continue to the website. Ooh, it's a Russian website now. So Putin just got access to my brain. No, it's neurocracy.site. Neurocracy.site. Solve a murder in the future by diving into its Wikipedia. You can still play it. Can you? Oh, you have to purchase it. It's a downloadable game now. Okay, $12. Okay, go to neurocracy.site. Good, we solved that. I'm gonna check this out later. I'm currently donating a lot of money uh, to help people that are being murdered in the genocide in Gaza. So my funds are low. I'm trying to just to counterbalance the my tax years that go into murdering children and journalists and nurses and everybody over there. Sorry, I don't want to be Draxy Downer, but that's the reality. But basically, $12 you can get that downloadable game. Now, I think we might almost be done. Where did I come in? Here we go. Okay, word ton. Oh my God, this is the most important one that we almost forgot. Well, I didn't forget it. I'm just scrolling through. This is the last one. Terrania, we've been there. This is Perry Road and word tunnels. Okay, people heard me talk about the book America and the Cult of the Cactus Boots. People heard me talk about Infinite Jest, but America and the Cult of the Cactus Boots is in that tradition, and it was written in a very, very short time. It's a 600-page book that is amazing, and it was written as a response to the first ascendancy of Trumpism, the initial ascendancy in the first election. And I'm going through a word tunnel, and the word tunnel will lead me to the cactus conspiracy. This book is absolutely amazing. It was published by Corona Samizdat, and Corona Samizdat is a publishing outfit out of Slovenia. This was a bestseller of a tiny, tiny publishing outlet. The word tunnels are confusing. This is obviously some pretty awesome symbolism here. Not the fact that I can't find the exit, although that could also be symbolic. Ooh, there's a door, and there's the Righarsh homunculus. So the word tunnels, they confuse you. The words, call it gaslighting, the age of gaslighting. And this is what we built, and then the audience had to go through, and they had to go through the door, and then they're in the door, and they see the tesseract. The tesseract plays a big role in that novel. And here we go. This is Rick Harsh. This is the publisher. But let me put up another image of the original get together here with the author of America, the Cult of the Cactus Boots. This is the cover. America, America Cult of the Cactus. There you go. This is the cover. The novel was written by Philip Friedenberg, and the illustrations are by Jeff Walton. Um, all the stuff here. This is Jeff Walton who illustrated. The illustrations in this book are awesome. These are the word tunnels. Look, totally like what we built in SL. Ruby built it, I think. World War Fallout Shelter. You know what? If you buy any book today, you got to buy America and the Cult of the Cactus Boots. It is incredibly ambitious, and it's an incredible achievement. It was written maybe like in 3 months or 6 months during COVID. Look, Nancy Reagan, robot dog, sponsored by Exxon. Just awesome. The Dick Cheney suitcase with his brain or his soul, I think is in there in that suitcase. The bomb, obviously. The illustrations alone are awesome. Let me put up. This was the invitation image. Author Philip Friedenberg, illustrator Jeff Walton, publisher Rick Harsh. The trio that wants to make sure that we survive the madness. Why is there an ironing board? Because the book has a satirical side to it, of course, and as you probably gleaned from the illustrations, and there is, let's see here, there's a part in the book where a game show is talked about, and it's competitive ironing, okay. And it's just so hilarious. So yeah, America and the Cult of the Cactus Boots. This is Philip Friedenberg. I love these illustrations. I forgot the name of this thing. This was a device that Philip Friedenberg's parents sent to him that he was supposed to build. God, I read this book twice. I forgot what this is. This is really important MacGuffin in the book. Lust Suds Ultra. Yeah. Oh man. America and the Cult of the Cactus Boots. You can read it 5 times and you can read it all your life. This is Philip with his daughter. Uh, he was a musician. He was a musician. And you know what? As opposed to other musicians, he made something of his life. He became an author of a really, really, really important novel, showing folks that independent publishing, maximalist epic storytelling is still possible in the 21st century. Philip Friedenberg, Jeff Walton, Rick Harsh. Competitively ironed. I'm competitively ironing. Why am I always ironing this? We bought this obviously on Marketplace. I don't know if it changes the clothes. So, let me verify that we went through everything. I have a hard stop. I gotta do some stuff with family. A lot of duties currently with my dad. People know that. Um, Glad to help, but it's costing. It's taking away from time spent elsewhere. Okay, let's go through this here. Holodeck, we did that. Office virtues, Terra Hiram. Oh yeah, this is part of Lovecraft Country, Tusks, Utopia, Word Tunnels, Virtues, Virtue Hoarding. Yep, that's it. So, sit down here, sit here. Folks, it was really awesome to do this book club thing. We had a great time. I had great feedback from people who were lapsed readers, people who never really read, people telling me they found pleasure in reading by being part of this community. People told me they uh, that they were inspired to write, and just from that feedback from within the Second Life community uh, is always the most important thing to me, because it shows that this is kind of worthwhile. There's no agenda per se, although I would say, well, you know what, there is an agenda, or there was an agenda with the book club, and the agenda was to convince people that reading for fun is an absolute worthwhile, if not incredibly necessary, use of your time. And by necessary, I mean in the nutritional sense, in the sense that you should not always that you should not wake up and eat a pack of gummy bears and wash it down with a Red Bull, and then eat a bunch of burgers for lunch and fries for evening, and then go to sleep by drinking 10 bottles of brewski. Um, Nutritious in the sense that it inspires, reading does, that it exercises your imagination, your ability to imagine worlds in your head, um, other in other ways, and in I would argue better and more important ways than audiovisual entertainment can do, because even the best audiovisual entertainment, and I'm not per se against engaging with audiovisual entertainment, uh, but even the best audiovisual entertainment and art, entertainment, by the way, is not art. It can be, sometimes it can be, but it's not designed to be art. It's designed to entertain. This is different. Art can be entertaining, but it doesn't have to be. This is my definition. I'm not reading this off the encyclopedia, and you may disagree with me, but this is my take on it. Enter- Art can be sometimes difficult to digest. I would actually say if it's always easy to digest, it's not going to be worth my while. And I know I had this discussion. I had pushback against this point for decades from a lot of people, where they say, "Oh, Drax, come on, are you saying it needs to hurt to be good? Like, food has to taste shitty in order to be nutritious?" No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that a novel, for example, to be specific, may have parts that are extremely boring, that are challenging you to stick with it. But when you transcend that, when you go through that, when you stick with it, you will be rewarded. And you will be rewarded not in the capitalist sense of getting a promotion or getting a plaque that you put on your wall. You will get rewarded by feeling good about your own ability to grow beyond your own expectations. That's uh, the same kind of reward that you will get when you work on something, not for somebody else, but for you. I mean, in the capitalist framework, we have been trained to believe that that we need to work in order to be compensated. We need to work in order to get recognition from the outside. Work is something that you have to do to remain human, not to barter with it, not to sell it, but just to make something out of nothing and then enjoy the presence of something. So that's the same, that's the exact same thing with reading or finishing a challenging novel. It's the same as climbing a mountain. It's the same as, um, I don't know, swimming a few extra laps or something. This is important because it challenges you about yourself to go to your limits. You don't have to go to your limits all the time, and you certainly, and I want to make this very clear, you certainly don't have to go towards your limits or self-optimize because somebody else tells you or society tells you. This is not about self-optimization at all. It is about growth, about going somewhere where you've not been, going into a world you've not been. And that is what a book is. And again, I would argue a movie cannot be that. A movie can be great, a movie can be entertaining, a movie can even be art, but it cannot be as holistically all encompassing a challenge to make you grow in ways that you didn't anticipate, like a book can. Theater could, right? Or a symphony. And I know I hear the voices of people watching is like, oh, Drag's such an elitist. Next thing he's going to say is like, video games are not art. Video games can totally be art. I'm not against that. I'm not against audiovisual entertainment. Hello, I said this a million times. But one aspect of a novel, a short story, is that you have to create that world in your imagination. So that aspect of exercising your that muscle, that is not something that you need to do when you consume audiovisual entertainment. Now, audiovisual entertainment outside of the culture industry, outside of the commercial culture industry, can also be extremely challenging. I mean, there's a film called Satan Tango, a film made after a book called Satan Tango. It's a 7 hours movie. It's raining all the time. It's extremely slow. It's black and white. There is not a lot of action. The camera doesn't move sometimes for minutes on end. It just looks at faces. Now, the 12-year-old version of myself would say, what garbage is this? Why would I watch shit like this for 7 hours? Now that I'm 54, I would say this is one of the best films ever made because it goes into a very uncomfortable region of the human condition. And you come out of it by like, hey, wow, this is awesome. But I understand my 12-year-old self because my 12-year-old self was, or 13-year-old self was reading Perry Roden, where the covers were spaceships and action. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But you grow and then you want to grow some more and you want to challenge yourself, I think. Again, not all the time. Sometimes you just want to take a hot bath and sometimes you just want to sit in the forest and listen to the birds, which is also very good because then you reflect on something, maybe a book. So I'm going to end here with this pro tip by Dr. Exter. Make reading a habit. You have to make it a habit. And I know one of the things that I heard a lot during these 4.5 years from people in the audience, it was very reoccurring sentiment, which is that I used to love to read. I don't anymore. And then you ask why you think that is, and people will say, well, school put me off reading. And I completely understand that. When you enter school, and you enter this phase in your life of pressure, bullying, just puberty maybe even, and other things, and then the pressure to read on deadline just to score high on a test, or even in sort of well-meaning in Germany, by the way, the curriculum in what they have to read in terms of like classic novels is good. It's good stuff. But then they have to write a paper on it. I understand this is what school is all about. School is a sorting mechanism. It's not really a mechanism to learn stuff. It's a sorting mechanism where you constantly have to prove your worth within the capitalist framework. And then when you read a classic piece, you read Schiller, Goethe, Shakespeare, whatever, and then you have to write a paper on it, and then you have to prove with the paper that you understood it and that you're smart, and then you can get a job. That will destroy your love for reading, and it has destroyed temporarily the love of reading in my son's life, in his peers. I talk to these kids all the time. It's always the same story, and that's what makes me really mad at the structure of school. There's nothing I can do about it. Well, there is something I can do about it. The Second Life Book Club, or just one-on-one conversations, or being in the train, the subway with a book, and somebody approaches me and say, "Hey, what are you reading, and why are you reading?" Stuff like that happens all the time, and that's what you can do too, because it's important, and you can revive that the notion that this is fun. It can be fun. Like I say, this is what I always get, like, oh, I used to enjoy reading, now I don't anymore. And then what is it? It was school. And then the other part is I don't have time. And that's my last piece of advice here, which is obvious. As in response to I don't have time, you have to schedule it. You have to schedule it. Come on, guys. You schedule every last bit of shit, right? You schedule, like, oh my God, there's a premiere of a Netflix show. I'm gonna watch it exactly at that time or whatnot, or I coordinate, go to the baseball game. You schedule everything. Why not schedule reading? Start with 15 minutes a day. 15 minutes a day. Everybody can do 15 minutes a day, and do it at night. I actually would recommend do it in the morning. When you get up, do not look at your smartphone first thing in the morning. Don't look at your phone. Don't look at the news, scroll through it, whatever. Don't do that. At night, your phone should be in phone jail. And when you get up, the first thing you should do, make coffee or whatever, make your oatmeal, but you should read for 15 minutes. A novel, a fun novel. Bookend, literally, bookend your day. Start with reading, end with reading. 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in bed. You will fall asleep. It doesn't matter. Maybe you wake up and you don't remember what you read. Who cares? Just read it again. There is nothing, there is no medal or brownie points to you know that you get, but you will get calmer, you will get more centered. Your brain will rewire itself. You will feel less anxious. I promise you that. It's the best medicine. Okay, that's it. New Unwind, still watching? Are you still there? What do you think of my recommendation, New Unwind? Is it good? Anything to add? Anybody here in the chat, anything to add? I'm going to close and go into the physical realm to help out my dad and do a bunch of other things. And then when I go back in the world, I will have to change the alpha layer of my shirt. What? God damn it. I'm getting wrapped up in detail. Who cares? You got it. Think about what I just said about the reading, about the scheduling, about picking something up. And I would love to hear from you, either here in world. I'll be posting on the Substack every other week or so. And then next year, we're going to start Infinite Jest. Okay. Thank you. Bittersweet ending. But that's what life is. We move on and we have a memory and we can even write about it. There's nothing to write home. I should shut up. I made you see, this is my problem. I think I made a good point here with the reading and the scheduling and those very tangible tips. And now I just keep blathering and people will forget the profound shit that I just said. What do you say, Gustav? You need to pee? Oh, he needs to pee in real life. I gotta go. I gotta go. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go right now.
We're all thrown into it, one way or the other. We all try to steer it as straight as we can. Sometimes we collide with each other. Who is to blame and who's gonna fix the boat? Life, oh life, there's nothing to fear from you. Life, let me know if I can be of any help. Life, you and I, let's try a fresh start today. What do you say? Let's close the door on the past. So we swim, and it is in so many ways just a little trick to keep our heads above water. But now I'm not afraid anymore. Life, oh life, there's nothing to fear from you. Life, let me know if I can be of any help. Life, you and I, let's try a fresh start today. What do you say?